What's good, y'all? Elite Live Streams. We back with another one. How you guys doing out there? Welcome. Salute to all the new subscribers, everybody who's been tuning in. We appreciate you guys so much, man. The channel's just growing. It's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? Everything's happening in God's time, and we thank you all so much. Today we got to come in. We got to make sure that we stand on code. Y'all know every couple of episodes, I like to always do a regroup. You feel me? I like to make sure that we stay in focus. And as well, this is the top of the new year. So I think it's important that we kind of set the stage here. You feel me? And I've been seeing a lot of stuff over these last couple of days, a lot of stuff that's been raising my antennas, a lot of stuff that's been really, really pissing me off. And I wanted to speak about it because right now, I feel like there's this push right now for Black Americans to be inside of everybody else's business and help over here and help over there. But I'm here to tell everyone who is a foundational Black American that we can't save everybody, y'all. It's impossible. All right, it's too late. There's too much going on. We got to focus on what we got to focus on, man, because some people, unfortunately, do not want to be saved. And I'm tired of seeing a lot of these people going out of their way, trying their best, right, to help people who do not want the help, man. And it's been a very just annoying situation to kind of see, lately, right? Everybody's been talking about the tendernism, Destination Smokehouse, Uncle Walt, and the whole situation going on over there, right? And so many Black Americans, I see him trying to break him away from this situation that we know that he's underneath, right? The corporatization of what he created, right? And then as well, the marketing and the money that is being made off of everything that he invented. And so many Black Americans are telling him, hey, Uncle Walt, man, you need to wake up, bro. This dude, he's taking money from you, brother. You're entitled to this. You're entitled to that. And all we see is the same old chucking and jiving, being there for Massa, making sure he protects him. And I think it's time for us as Black Americans to say, you know what? Let him live, man. Let the brother live. Let him live, all right? Because it's not just him. There's so many others who I've come across in these last couple of days who are just out here doing way too much. And I think it's time for us to all take a look and just kind of go over what we've been seeing and just kind of make a very, very good, real assessment about what's going on, right? Because everybody knows the tendernism guy, right? You know what I'm saying? He has barbecue and he's a marketing genius and all this stuff, right? Everybody's really happy for him. Everybody supported the business because they saw this Black man who's barbecuing. He's got the recipe, you know what I'm saying? He's created this word, this verbiage, tendernism, all this stuff, right? Everybody's like so very, very happy for him, wanting the best for him. And so a lot of people supported him naturally, right? Naturally, you're going to get a lot of support. And so, of course, that's what happens. Black Americans, we love to support our people. We see them doing well. We want to support, we want to help him. We didn't really know the exact details at first, but it was important for people to go out there and try to help, right? And so that's what we started to see. We started to see more people showing up. We started to see the lines that were wrapped around the freaking door. We started to see everyone fully supporting what they had going on at the Destination Smokehouse, right? And so then everybody starts to find out that it may not be what it seems, right? That there may be something going on behind the scenes, right? That there is an owner who nobody really knows about, but now he's coming into the forefront. Now he's at the forefront of all the videos. Now he's trying to get a little bit of the shine, right? And so naturally, now everybody's looking like a little, what's going on with this, right? What's happening? So then people start asking questions naturally because a lot of people seen how much money was being made over there, right? Everyone's looking at Uncle Walt. They're saying, wow, man, he's created this recipe, what he needs to be done. And let's just take a look, right? Let's take a look so you guys can all kind of understand, you know what I'm saying, what's going on here, right? So this is Walt, right? This is the the smokehouse, Destination Smokehouse, right? Is what
Camera, I can see it. Look at that. Look. All right.
Let me see.
Oh, wow. I mean, come on.
See that what? That wow. Ain't happening.
Well,
Hey, look at my.
I can't wait to get your truck. Hold on, here comes Walt's tray. Here we go.
Now we finna get down, baby.
Here we go.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I like doing what I'm doing. This stuff's so good to me. Boy, I can't tell you what it almost like.
Now look, you know, questionable marketing, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying, in 2025, you know, I mean, hey, some people that's appealing to. So cool, whatever. But that just gives you kind of a synopsis of what, you know, they're marketing here, right? Is a barbecue that is specifically made, or right, the recipe created by a black man, right? So everybody sees that and they're like, okay, it must be legit. Gotta support, right? So they go out of their way, they do all the support, right? Everybody gets to the support, and then all of a sudden, like I said, people start to ask questions. Everybody's like, hold up, like, wait. Who is the owner? Who's doing what? And then everybody finds out that he's actually just a worker, that he's actually just a mascot, that he's actually just somebody who's, you know, out here supporting as a mascot, pretty much, right? And you know, I find it kind of unfortunate, I guess, in that scenario, because we all kind of started to see that the history, right? The history of what Black Americans create, specifically in any factor of what we choose to, right? There's a big push for it to be monetized, and then it's, well, we don't get the credit for it, right? So everybody's kind of like trying to figure out, okay, so what's happening? Like, how did this happen? What's going on, right? So the tendernism, right? The word tendernism, right? Everybody's like, man, like, we got to make sure we got to make sure he trademarks tendernism. Well, looks like he did not trademark tendernism. Looks like his owner, like we all suspected, was the one who trademarked tendernism right behind his back, right? Which we, you know, we all suspected and we all kind of knew. So let's take a look, right? Yes, there is an active trademark application for tenderism filed by Kenneth Harris in late 2025 for goods like clothing and food, but many in the viral social media community, especially fans of Uncle Walt from Destination Smokehouse, who popularized the term, believe that Walt should control it, leading to a debate and confusion over who truly owns the tendernism brand and its viral popularity, right? So this is kind of where we're at, right? There's a significant debate online with many fans supporting Walt and expressing frustration that someone else is trying to trademark the term he made famous, calling Walt to secure his own intellectual property, right? So naturally, a lot of us are going to be looking at this and we're thinking, man, like, obviously, right? Obviously, we know this story many a times as Black Americans, right? We know the story that everything that we create, our intellectual property, our art, right? Music, everything else that we've created in the Renaissance has been hijacked and co-opted, right? Because we have to always protect it. So when we see someone like, you know, the Unc at tendernism, right, at Destination Smokehouse, we already saw kind of what was coming, right? We seen that, hey, man, you might want to get on top of that. Hey, man, you might want to be careful because we can see what's happening. And sure enough, that's what happened, right? And so now it's kind of unfortunate, right? Because now we're starting to see where now we can get into the new, right? The backlash, right? So they face the backlash. Everybody's talking about them. And so now you have, like you would always see, they're going to roll out the protection, right? And they're going to use Walt to make everything better, right? Instead of the owner coming out and saying, hey, man, this is a situation we have set up with Walt. This is what we got going on. They would rather send Walt out there making himself look like a fool. And mind you, like I said, as Black Americans, sometimes we have such an open heart to people and hoping that, you know, they'll wake up or that their situation will get better. But in reality, like, some people just don't want to be saved, man. And that's just what it is, y'all. And this is what I see. I see a man who's cool with where he's at. And I'm gonna be real with you. I think we should just leave him to where he's at and his devices. Let him do his thing over there. And if you want to support him, go ahead. I personally am not into that. I don't like how this feels. I don't like the vibes. So y'all take a look.
Straight one thing up right now. This is my partner, Nick. He my brother. He my ex-bro, Tony. We gonna keep it that way. Hey, we don't need no look. Don't hate on him. Don't hate on thing we trying to do.
I can take it. It's not about that.
Take
You
that.
know.
Hey, look.
Yeah.
Hey, if y'all want to help something, send some good comments. Come down to destination. It's in the southern part of California, City Peabody Avenue. I'm talking about destination one in the nation. Then you'll understand. This young man helped. I forgot. As long as I live, I ain't gonna be always him. But however, let me tell y'all something. This guy helps.
Oh,
He got all my love.
Yeah, it's kind of cringy. I mean, it's whatever though. This is what we see. You feel me? This is kind of the vibes. Like, this is what we're gonna get. And like I said, I think it's important that people understand that some people just don't want to be saved, man. It's okay. Like, it's more than okay, right? Some people can just be where they're at, and we can, as a people, we can, as a community, take our, our own, right? Our own focus and put it elsewhere, right? We already know kind of what he's on, what he feels like, what he's got going on, what he wants to do, where he wants to be. And so we should just leave him there, y'all, because I don't see the point. I don't understand why we would need to, intervene on somebody who's happy with where they're at. You know what I'm saying? And it's very evident, right, that this is kind of where he wants to be and how he wants to go about his business. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think that as Black American, we get so caught up in trying to help people and trying to make sure that they wake up and they see their own worth, but we can't keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? We can't keep forcing people to understand who they are and what they're worth and what they bring to the table, and the fact that they are the ones who are the entity. You are the recipe. You are the sauce, right? We can't keep telling people that if they don't want to believe it themselves. And that's kind of what I see. I see a little bit of, a little bit of doubt, a little bit of insecurity here, and just an overall, an overall weird energy that I'm just not really understanding, I guess, to my side of things. I mean, this is pretty, it's whatever, I mean, it's very cringy, but it's kind of, just a good representation of what I mean, where it's like, there's so much that we want to do, so many people that we want to wake up and that we want to help. But if they do not want to help themselves, what are we supposed to do, right? We have no control over that. And we shouldn't be going out of our way to try to help when people don't want to help themselves, man. That's what I see. I see a lot of people who are just here, going about their business, and cool, you know what I'm saying? But I don't see the point of us going out of our way to try to help or to try to, wake up Uncle Walt if he's cool with where he's at. If he's cool where he's at, if he's cool being in this position and being a mascot and being the ambassador rather than being an owner, rather than having equity in the company, rather than having any, ownership of the trademark, then that's on him. You feel me? That has nothing to do with us, right? And I want more people to get less emotionally invested, right? Especially foundational Black Americans. We got to stop being so much invested in people who don't need that emotional investment. You feel me? We want to be so emotionally invested in people and help and make sure that they're doing the right things. But some people, they just don't want that support. And it's clear that, Mr. Unc at, Uncle Walt at Destination, he doesn't want that. He's cool with where he's at. He's cool with where he's at. So we should definitely respect his wishes and let him do his thing over there. Because I don't think that, from my perspective, it does anything for us to continue to try to, tell him what to do when there's clearly something going on. And it's pretty obvious what they're doing to him, right? It's pretty obvious that he's getting taken advantage of, right? I just showed you guys that they already have a trademark right now for tenderism. All right. They're already trying to monetize off of his intellectual property. They've already moved forward on a lot of things right in his face. And like he said, he's cool with that. So who is it for us as foundational Black Americans to be out here trying to, give our support to people who just don't want that support? He's cool with where he's at, and he should definitely be respected for such. I don't necessarily understand why we have to, have such a crazy back and forth about this conversation, and that leads me, to my next part of this conversation. All right. So lately, we've been seeing a lot of backlash, right? A lot of crazy people, foundational Black Americans, specifically when we just saw the whole Antonio reacts, and then as well we saw Ant CEO responding to that, right? We saw that, right? We all peeped that. We all saw how quickly that kind of flew right over our heads, right? We peeped it and we said, you know what? We're going to let this play out because we already knew what was coming, right? And this is why I wanted to make sure that we start having this narrative out here, right? Black Americans, we are not responsible for what comes after now that people have started to see we're serious about delineation and that we are serious about this movement that we've created, right? We cannot control now everybody else coming at us, right? Because this is what we should expect at this point, right? And the fact of the matter is there are going to be a lot of people, right, who wish that they were on the wave, because a lot of people, and this is just facts, when it came into the social media space and where we are today, a lot of them were on the wrong side of history, right? So they know that at some point you're going to have to be held accountable for what you said in your past, for what you've done in the past on the internet, for all the things that you may have done in life. And so I've kind of started to peep this a little bit, more and more. And it's been kind of a very interesting perspective because there's been a lot of that going on, a lot of distractions, a lot of people playing games. And I've peeped it out very, very seriously. And I wanted to make sure that Black Americans still stay on code, right? We're still staying focused because I'm telling you, man, there's something going on now within this space where a lot of people, a lot of Black Americans, right, have feeling, right, and seeing the distraction tactics. We've been seeing, right, a lot of the BS that's going on in the world, right? We've been peeping it out. We've been seeing a lot of people using their platforms to direct and distract the conversation. And mind you, this is all happening in real time, right? I'm peeping it right now, peeping it literally as we speak, right? And so the game now is, all right, so what we're going to do then is we are going to find a way to infiltrate, cause chaos and confusion. And I wanted to make sure that we stay focused on that. We can't stop our movement because everybody else is feeling some type of way right now. We can't stop what we're doing because y'all aren't included. Okay? It's too bad, so sad, guys. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Right now is the moment for all foundational Black Americans to be making sure that we're staying focused, that we are staying on code. I'm watching and I'm seeing how all of these little new YouTubers and new content creators are starting to use their platforms, right, to shift from what they were originally talking about to now doing some BS. Salute, Randall, my brother. Hey, Randall, man, salute to you, bro. Hey, you be in my chat all the time, man. I appreciate you always pulling up, bro. You always show love, man. When I get to a certain amount, you're definitely going to be a moderator on this channel. Please believe that, my brother. Appreciate you always pulling up, man. But yeah, so I think it was what I was saying is the fact that when we're starting more and more of these channels and more of these content creators that are starting to pop up, and you're starting to see them using their platforms and using rhetoric to be able to shift the conversation away from what foundational Black Americans are actually talking about. This is what I've been talking about on this channel since I've really been starting to make content, guys, is the fact that we will start to see now more of an infiltration, not only from just the grassroots level, but all the way up to Congress, right? Told you guys, and we talked about the other day, right? We talked about Tucker Carlson, right? And him going out of his way with as well, right? A legislator who is trying to get voted into office right now. They're talking about foundational Black Americans. And let me tell you why. Because I've told you guys from the beginning, there are think tanks, there are people studying us, there are people who are in the community who are using what we have right now to be able to raise awareness so that the legislation can start getting moving. And that's why it was so important, at least right now, especially for Black Americans, to not be going out here trying to put our necks on the line for other people who do not want to be saved. I'm seeing all these little people who are using their platforms and who have become small parts of themselves, right, to kowtow to the white establishment. And they did that for a very long time. So now that the tables are starting to turn, and now that the Black delineation movement has taken off, now you're starting to see so much regret because so many people sold out. They never thought that this would happen, y'all. They never thought that foundational Black Americans would ever come together. They really thought that, y'all. And I mean this, like I've been seeing so much of this lately, and it's hilarious, man. Yo, salute. These pink toes will say anything out their mouth. They will say anything to get voted in. Facts, bro. And that's why I be trying to tell people, like, I definitely respect and I see what the movement has become, but I also understand now the game gets harder. Now the game gets more intricate. Now we start to see the real details, right? Because it's always going to start at the grassroots level, right? We're the grassroots. But once it starts to bubble up to the top, now it starts to become, okay, now we're playing chess, y'all. And that's why I said the chess game now becomes us having self-preservation of our own in our lineage and our ancestry. If there is any denial of what we have done, you are out. You cannot be a part of this. If you have made content, right, to try to make sure that you're pandering towards what we're doing, and you do not align within that, you're out of here, bro. You're out of here, bro. Hey, salute back to Randall. He said, you're going to see the white deception that comes with them being aware, that part, okay? Because now that we are on the radar, now the game really starts, right? Now we start to see who's really going to stand on business for foundational Black Americans and who's just talking, right? Because a lot of people are now going to start getting paid for real. And it may not be in what you guys see directly, right? But once you guys start to see people start to shift their content from, remember, Amazing Lucas, he was so focused on white Americans. Now his focus has turned right into what? Foundational Black Americans. Now he has a problem with foundational Black Americans. I thought you had a problem with the white establishment. I thought you had a problem with the liberals. I thought you had a problem with the YT right. Oh, Amazing Lucas, now your content's changing and focusing on us. That doesn't sound funny to y'all. All of a sudden, right before he was focused on what? The white establishment and white folks. Now he wants to change his content to focus on foundational Black Americans. Oh, wait. Antonio Speaks wants to talk about this too. Y'all see what I'm saying? Y'all see what I'm saying? I said the same thing. A&V Axon was making sentence about Black Americans. Yes, bro. And it's happening. And that's why I said the game starts to get colder now. The game starts to get more intricate, right? Because like I said, before what we are in right now in 2026, there was a time on YouTube where I saw all these content creators doing what they're mad about Candace Owens doing today. There was a time on YouTube when I saw a lot of these content creators who are now trying to act like they're pro or they're so against Trump. They were actually for Trump. I saw so many of these content creators who are now attacking foundational Black American content creators. I saw them pandering. We all saw it, right? But they act like we're so stupid. They act like we're not, that we haven't been here. A lot of us have been on these YouTube streets for a very long time. Just because we weren't specifically making videos or doing live streams doesn't mean we weren't aware of what was going on. I've been on these YouTube streets for a very long time, and I'm telling you, bro, I've been seeing this for a long time, and it happens every single time. I saw this happen in the conscious community, right? Once everybody starts to raise their level of consciousness, it starts to change, bro. Hey, Philip Scott used to talk negative about Black Americans, bro. Ain't it, like I said, ain't it funny? Ain't it funny? This is how it works, bro, because now it's a hot thing. It's real hot. It's real in vogue, right, to talk about foundational Black Americans, right? But like I said, even if you look at what Philip Scott, his original channel wasn't it the African Diaspora Network? Am I not mistaken? Right? So if that's the name of your news network, but now you're speaking about foundational Black American business and issues as a foundational Black, y'all get what I'm saying though. And I have nothing against Philip Scott because I really do respect his channel. I respect him as a man and what he does. But what I like to do is always point out the fact that history will always show what people are and who they are. And the fact that, like I said, now everybody has oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Foundational Black Americans, this or that. Foundational Black Americans don't got to do nothing for none of y'all. We watched y'all try to down us for so freaking long. And now that we've reached this level, right? Now that we're here, right? And we've consciously accepted the fact that delineation is the move for us. That's the direction we want to go. Once we decided that, then we said, okay, bet. Now that we got that, what are we looking for? We're talking about reparations, right? We're talking about the anti-Black hate crime bills, right? We're talking about police brutality, right? We're also talking about real estate grants, land grants that were entitled, right, to us as foundational Black Americans. Right here on this channel, I did a specific expose about the 40 acres and the mule that was actually entitled to foundational Black Americans, given out to foundational Black Americans, and then taken away from foundational Black Americans. So you think that if I can find that information on my own, do you not think that the entire government is not privy to the same information? Do you not think that the fact that we have been pressing the line now has not shown a level of understanding from everyone else? We understood what time it was and we said for sure, but now is the time for us to step back and watch, right? A lot of the shucking and jiving that's been going on, right? We watched this Destination Smokehouse guy get over here, shuck and jive, tell us about tenderism, and then for him to get backdoored, him for his trademark to be taken away from him trying to get a blessing put on him by another Black brother, Keith Lee, and then that blessing being blocked by who? Y'all know who. But guess what? I'm crazy for talking like this, right? I'm a little bit more radical. Like I said, I'm not trying to save all these motherfuckers. I'm not with that, bro. I'm a little bit different. I'm not with the kumbaya, the let's save everybody, the coalition. I ain't with that. We only need a specific few who are down for the cause and who are willing to go the distance that's necessary to be able to push our narrative forward. Because guess what? There was a select few who did specifically that for us to be in the position that we're in right now as foundational Black Americans. That's all it took, was a specific few. Not everybody was going to go, all right? Not everybody took the advice when Harriet Tubman said, hey, yo, y'all, I could get us up out of here. Some people said no, and I'm going to keep saying that because that's the mentality you have to have now. Now that we've reached this level for sure, that means something. But at the same time, we also have to understand that there will be agents among us, people who will try to dismantle and disrupt the movement that we're trying to have right now. There will be people who are going to infiltrate what we have right now and are sent here to hate and be able to mess up what we already got going on. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Randall, salute. Imagine if all Black Americans stood on the same thing. Listen, bro. Listen, bro. The game, and like I said, we playing chess now, Randall, right? So chess, right? It's not just one move. It's I'm thinking 4 moves ahead of your one move. And if I'm thinking about chess, right? The chess move is how can I infiltrate your kingdom, right? And how can I do it in the most closest way to you, right? And that's what we deal with a lot, bro, is a lot of that as foundational Black Americans. We've opened up our heart to so many people just to get backdoored every single time. And I do not want to make the same mistake. I do not want to make the same mistake. Like I said, I am not like everybody else, though. I'm not with the kumbaya, let's all figure it out. No, there has to be a distinction. There has to be a line for us to be able to stand on that. And so we can just do us first. Let's get us together first. Everybody else, fine, sure. But right now, it got to be about us. It's okay. It's foundational Black Americans. It's okay to be selfish sometimes. I know that they've convoluted our minds to being selfish. They're selfish. Everybody else looks out for themselves. It's time for us to do the same. Enough. We need to start opening up our minds. Start thinking critically. We cannot just be here allowing ourselves to get used and abused. That right now is about self-preservation and building. No more allowing people to come in and tell us something good and not be backing it up, y'all. Okay? We saw this kid, Antonio Speaks. He's making all these videos. He looks cool. And then he's out here talking about a Black American pilot to the right wing. Is he crazy? What is wrong with these people, y'all? What is wrong with these people? The moment that we accept our own heritage is the moment that we are now considered racist and blackface, bro. The nerve of these people who do not know or understand anything that we have been through. Hey, listen. Hey, Randall, you already know I got you, bro. I don't know why there we go. There we go. I should have been more specific. FBA is what I meant. Hey, I know what you meant though, dog. We all know what you meant, but that's real talk. And it's real talk because, like I said, there is a consensus among all of us collectively, right? To make sure that we stand on code, to make sure that we're doing what we have to do in our community now, right? You feel me? I'm doing my part, but I'm now ramping it up because I know that the youth, they love this. They love this internet stuff. They love this live streaming stuff. So I had to figure this out so that I could be able to connect with them better, right? And so that I could make my reach bigger, right? But the goal is to be able to take all this and focus it back into what is necessary for us to grow as a nation. And that's boots on the ground. That's working with our fellow man as foundational Black Americans. We cannot save nobody else. We can't. I done seen so many times us trying to help people, us trying to wake people up, us trying to fight against people, telling them that we're this or that. We don't need to explain ourselves anymore, y'all. Didn't we just talk about this? Didn't we just talk about Tucker Carlson? They know who we are. We don't have to explain ourselves no more to these people anymore. Calling us hate groups, calling us, racist, calling us racist in blackface, bro. We don't need to make any explanation no more. I'm done explaining myself. I'm done explaining our lineage, bro. They know what's up. They're just acting stupid. And we can't keep playing into that. We can't keep allowing them to gaslight us. Straight up. Gaslighting us, making us think that, just because, Black Americans, because we're this or that. No, bro, I don't got to explain nothing to y'all. We know that we was here before y'all. We know what we built in this country. We have it written in the history books. Whether you want to delete them, whether you want to wipe it out, it will never be wiped away. You cannot rewrite history because history is in the soil of everything that we do here in this country. It is everywhere. Everywhere I look, I see foundational Black American influence. Everywhere I look. So you cannot tell me that our history is not written. It's already been written. But now the shift changes, right? From just the celebration of it to us getting ours. We're the ones who deserve to monetize from it. We're the ones who deserve to gatekeep it. We're the ones who deserve to tell you what we want and how we want it. Y'all ain't finna keep telling us what and who we need to be doing anything for. Straight up. Black Americans now, we control the narrative. The narrative has now shifted. Yes, there was a time, 100%, where we were all looking for that unity and that kumbaya spirit. Enough is enough. Straight up. Salute to Tanika. Thank you for pulling up. And I hope all of you guys subscribe, man. I hope y'all subscribe because we're trying to grow this channel over here. Thank you to Miss Tanika. She says, all of us have different skills and callings. So the ones that are good at narrative control have to fight false narratives. Thank you, Miss Tanika. That is exactly why I'm here. Okay? There are a lot of people who do not possess the skills that I have and the understanding of the industry and the experience that I have. So it was important for me to figure out my format, building a platform with me and my friends to be able to change the narrative and shift to what we want it to be. The imagery that we want to show, the things that I want people to see. That's what this channel was created for. This is why Elite Media exists. We come from this. We have made a conscious decision to be able to make this content in this way so that it represents foundational Black Americans in a light that is representative of who we are. We understand that image matters. We understand what things are supposed to look like. We know that when people see these videos, when people consume our content, what they're going to think and what they will say. And so as a foundational Black American, you goddamn right I'm gonna come on here, swag the fuck out. That's off top. Secondly, you already know we educated over here, so we not coming with nothing that's not gonna be of a certain level of consciousness. Thirdly, we believe in Jesus Christ. All right. So what was driving me is beyond me. It's not just me that's on here with y'all. Okay. This is something that's built from God. God did this. You feel me? I'm just here as a vessel. Okay. So when I get on here and I speak, I want y'all to understand that nothing can stop me because no weapon formed against me. You feel me? We already know that. So that's why we move in a certain way that we move. And mind you, that's why I can stand on principles. I can stand on principles. I can stand on what I say. I can stand on my feelings, right? I come from a real family. I come from a real lineage, people who actually support me and want to see me do well. I would be at a disadvantage if I did not go in beyond what my ancestors have done for me to be here. It is my duty and my responsibility to be able to take what I see, maximize that, so then the people who come after me can go ahead and run with it. That's what it's supposed to be about. Foundational Black Americans. We can't keep worried about everybody else. We got to build right here. We got to start creating these platforms. We got to start controlling our narrative, like Miss Tanika says. We have to make sure that we are staying on code, like my brother Randall says. We cannot be sitting up here thinking about everybody else, trying to save everybody else when we know for a fact that these people do not feel the same way about us. When we have proven that these people at any point would do worse to us than we would to them, okay? Because please believe, everything that's happening right now, the reason why Donald Trump is in office, we already know that bullet was supposed to be for us. but they didn't understand how the Most High works. The tables always turn, man. We had our time. We've been in that ways. We understand what it's like to survive and what we got to do to make it out here. So you dang right that now we gonna sit back and watch, and we're gonna sit back and understand and try our best to make sure that we building within, starting businesses, spreading people's businesses, helping others out, anybody who's in need, going out here, helping with food banks. Like I always say, my family runs a food bank right here in Long Beach, California, for anyone in need. That's what we do, right? So the goal is to not only just be on here talking with y'all, building with my Foundation of Black Americans on the internet, but it's also to build with the ones right here in my community. Ain't that a beautiful thing? Ain't that what we all supposed to be doing? Ain't we supposed to all be on code, doing what we can? Because that's what's going to help build. We're going to grow from this, y'all. And that's why I said, if we continue to stay focused on ourselves, if we continue to not have to be distracted by everybody else's BS and just save ourselves, we gonna be all right. Straight up, we gonna worry about it. Rihanna, I love you. Salute to Rihanna. But yes, that's real talk. We got to make sure that we continue to stay focused. We continue to just focus and pour into ourselves. We must pour into ourselves. This is the most important time for this, right? This time of rest, like everyone talks about, this spiritual time of rest for Foundation of Black Americans is not only about rest, but what happens when you rest, right? You're also rejuvenating your body, right? You're also growing, right? That's a big part of, I'm an active guy. You know me, I pick up heavy ass weights, right? But a big part of picking up heavy ass weights, right, is the fact of the recovery aspect, right? Because you're ripping your muscles apart, right? Because you essentially want to get them bigger. And what helps them get bigger faster? Rest. Nothing beats rest, right? And so that's what it was. Black Americans, we built hard. We've been stripped. We've been ripping that muscle apart. We've been going through the hard times, you know what I'm saying? But now what? Now we strong. Yeah, now we ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's about. Like, you got to be on that straight up, man. Hey, salute to Miss Tamika. She says, we're in the dry bones phase of our resurrection. You got that right. The Most High speaks about this 100%. And that's why I try to tell people, like, this is the point. This is why it's such a pivotal time in Foundational Black Americans history, just as much as it was when our ancestors first got here, was first put into captivity. This is not just an important time, but it's a very, very spiritual time, right? I know we all feel it. We all feel whatever that is, right? Some people equate that to the world, the evil spirits, whatever you to, but that is hanging over us, that negativity. But guess what? We are built. We are the soul, what America can be, wants to be, should be. And so when we come from that moral compass, there's nothing that can stop us from the position that we're in. And that's why have a problem with us being at peace right now. That's why so many people have a problem with Black Americans being so okay with how things are going, right? Because we ready, we built for this. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody more built for this than we are. And they know that. And that's why they want to take us off of our circle. That's why they sending all these distraction tactics. Can y'all not tell me these Negroes are talking about fight with Anton Daniels and freaking Corey Holcomb? Almost every single channel is live right now talking about these fools up here fighting each other at a much pivotal time where we don't even need this crap. Do y'all see it? Because I see it. I see how they're using that to distract, right? How they using that to distract from the conversation. It's everywhere. Everybody talking about it. Like it's changing somebody's lives. Like that's gonna do something for us. That ain't finna do nothing for us. All this doing is pushing a narrative that we already know. And what is that narrative? Oh, black brothers can't get along. We gotta stop trying to save these people. Anton Daniels doesn't want to be saved, y'all. Why do we care about what he thinks? Why do we care about what he's doing? Let's just stop it. Enough, bro. I don't have time for it, dog. I don't care what Anton Daniels has to say. I don't care about what his narrative is. I do not care about anything he has to say or bring to the table because he don't change shit. He doesn't change anything. He does not change anything. He does not change anything. And I want y'all to keep that understanding. He does not change anything. Salute to my brother Randall. A bunch of lies talking about the situation. It's just a distraction tactic. It is just a distraction tactic. They will use black on black crime, black on black issues to push that to the forefront so that all the BS that's really happening is going under the radar. Like, for instance, like we just talked about the other day, a man who's been robbing freaking graves, taking over 100 bodies. Ain't nobody talking about that. But everybody want to talk about Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb, a comedian and a right influencer. Nasty work. That's a good distraction because it separates the wheat from the chaff. That is, man, ain't that the truth? That's all that is. And I seen it from a mile away. I saw it and I said, that's interesting. I wonder why this is happening right now. And literally yesterday, we saw that whole crap when Antonio Speaks and Ant CEO and everybody was exposing him. And then you had the amazing Lucas, all these people just coming out the woodworks. You can't tell me that this is not a distraction tactic and a psyop, bro. They are literally this. It's not even slick no more. Like, this is pretty obvious. Like, all of this happened literally within the last 2 days, literally. And technically, it all happened on the same day because the Anton thing and the thing was live yesterday and then it came out today. So, bro, y'all can't tell me this algorithm stuff is not rigged up, bro. It's not rigged up because I'm telling you, I swear, I saw like 12 channels that went live talking about this same scenario, playing the same footage, doing the same talking points. Oh, nah, well, I think he should have gotten a fight with him. Oh, nah, well, I think he was talking greasy. What do that have to matter? What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with the real issues that Black Americans need to be talking about right now? Nothing. Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares that Iran is about to go ahead and, man, that's for another, more elevated conversation. You know what I'm saying? That's more worldview. But foundational Black Americans, y'all, listen, man, listen to me. Just listen to me. All right? Enough with trying to save these dudes. Anton Daniels, he don't want to be saved. Unc from Destination Smokehouse, he don't want to be saved. Candace Owens does not want to be saved. Leave them to their devices and let them burn. It's cool. We don't need them. They don't need us. Okay? Obviously, right? Obviously, they don't need us. So leave it. Let it be. You feel me? Let that be. You know what I mean? Because I don't have anything to say more than that. You feel me? I just wanted to make sure that we hop on here and we are staying on code. I'm making sure that these narratives are being pushed out correctly because I see it. And when it comes on, it's like, I'll be thinking about what to go live. You feel me? What subjects I want to talk about and what things I want to bring to the table. And I'll always try my best to bring something that's going to add to the conversation, but at the same time, it's going to be from a much more more like conscious, concise, spiritual level. You feel me? And I was seeing just what was going on and why these people were trying to like infiltrate and trying to, you know, control the narrative and change the conversation. And I'm like, bro, these people don't need to be a part of what we're doing. And as Black Americans, like I said, we don't need them. We don't need everybody. We don't need any person who has a problem with what foundational Black Americans are doing. Y'all got to just go over there, stay over there. We good. We gonna be good over here. Let us handle what we gotta handle. You be over there with your little, you know, you want to be on your kumbaya, everybody's family crap, go do that, bro. But for those who want to be of specific lineage, those who want to be able to build within this specific lineage, we need to build within each other, y'all. And we need to stop trying to lend a hand to everybody else who wouldn't do the same for us, y'all. They won't. It's been proven. We've already done seen enough examples of this. And that's why I'm just here to make sure that we stay on code, we stay in focus, y'all. We're not out here trying to play games. And like I said, it's becoming more intricate. So I need y'all to wake up and be on the same code that I'm on. I need y'all to be on the same wavelength as me. We need to be locked in together, y'all, because I'm telling you, it's only going to get more intricate now. We're only going to see more distraction tactics and more ways for them to infiltrate what we're doing over here. So y'all need to as well have your antennas up. Pay attention to all these people who saying that they, you know, for the movement, but then they got little, you know, backhanded compliments and BS that they saying behind the scenes. Watch these people in the chats, okay? Government operatives, be careful, y'all. I'm telling you, because this is where it's now becoming. It's now reached this level, right? We got to keep doing that, bro. We got to stay on code. Yes, Rihanna, proven time and time again. That's facts. Hey, salute to Randall. He said, white people ain't done trying. You dang right. You think they're going to give this up easy? You think that we're going to get what we want easy? I'm telling you, you better be freaking ready. You better be ready for whatever comes, man, because I'm telling you, as soon as things start to change, as soon as those tables turn, and as soon as foundational Black Americans are in the position, our rightful position, you better be ready to fight for it. You better be ready to fight for it, because they're gonna be clawing, they're gonna be coming at us harder than they've ever come at us. And that's what I'm trying to get Black people to understand. Just because we almost at, you know, where we want to be, that don't mean the game stops. That means the game turns over. That means it's a new game. That means start again. Okay, now the game starts with what? A whole new narrative, right? And we got to be just as smart and just as cunning. We have to be just as malicious, just as cold as they are. We can't be trying to be the moral high ground no more. We got to match force with force. It can't just be one, okay, yeah, well, now that we're good, maybe we could just, no. As soon as we get it, we got to be just as hard as they are. They up there, you think they're going to give us anything? They'd be mad if they give us a crumb. You crazy? You crazy, bro, if you think that when we get to what we're supposed to get to, that I'm going to be any less than what I'm at. I'm going to be worse. I'm going to be so on top of my game. I'm going to be so exhausted because of the resources that I'm going to express to make sure that I will never get caught slipping. All right? That's our goal. Our goal should be to always make sure that we are bulletproof, because they will do it to us any opportunity that they get. And don't you ever forget it. All right? Don't you ever forget it. Don't you ever get comfortable. All right? Because the moment that you do, they will rock you to sleep. A lot of foundational Black Americans been rocked to sleep for a long time by a lot of these people who we so-called trust. So y'all better make sure that don't happen again. That's all I'm saying. Let's not repeat history, Black people. All right? Let's not repeat history. Let's make sure that we learn from history and that we refuse to repeat it. All right. So that's what I'm gonna leave with y'all today, man, because you know your boy be getting hot. You know what I'm saying? I be getting real worked up. You feel me? You know what I mean? But I'm real passionate about this. I need y'all to be on the same page. I need y'all to be where I'm at. You know what I mean? So I just want to make sure that all of you guys continue to grow and elevate and be the best versions of yourself, not only for you, but for your families, man. Make sure that you guys are taking care of one another, and make sure if you see a foundational Black American, try your best to understand that person and be on code with that person. You may not agree with everything that they may, believe and all that, but the goal is to make sure that we stay together. All right. So much love to everybody. Make sure y'all subscribe, man. This was a great stream. I appreciate all you guys who come through showing love, man. Y'all be really, really helping me get through my day because it make me feel like we close to something. Salute my boy Randall, man. Salute Randall, man. Randall being here showing love every single time, man. My guy Randall, dog. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Rihanna. Thank you, Tanika, man. Y'all was active in the chat today, and it means so much. But thank you all so much. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, man. My name's Brandon B, and I'm out. Peace.